Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to take a couple of minutes personal privilege before I do close, and just to, this will be the last couple of days I'm here on the House floor, and I would like to thank the constituents of the 1st Congressional District of Tennessee who've supported me overwhelmingly for the past 12 years. I cannot thank you enough. I have made so many great friends as I've traveled those 12 counties in rural East Tennessee, and I couldn't be prouder of them, and certainly my prayers are with them now during this COVID epidemic. And this is a year like no one ever expected, Mr. Speaker. I think we'll all look back years from now and think, and history will judge us on how we did now. I want to thank my family and friends that I've had. I would not be here without them. And during this past 12 years, I've had some personal issues. My wife died of cancer during this 12 years I was here. I lost a very dear personal friend not 6 weeks after that. My mother died a year after that, and a year after that I was diagnosed with cancer myself, and I am a cancer survivor. And I want to thank the people in this body and in this House for the personal support that they gave me and uplifted me. The Congressional Prayer Breakfast, and just many friends, as Mr. Biggs talked about, that would stop and speak to you and lift you up. I don't think people see that. I want to thank my staff. I have had an incredible staff since I've been here. I'm amazed at the insight and work that these young people do on both sides of the aisle. Just amazing. We would not get this legislation, and you see this big thick binder right here. It's these staff members that put this together, do the hard work, bring us together, and I can't thank them enough. And my colleagues, I have met and made some amazing friends that will last a lifetime here. I've had the opportunity, and I remember, I'll pass this along, an old coach told me once, we were at Boy Scout camp. I was a counselor there, and one of the scouts ran up and said, Coach, we have a problem down in shower house number 2. And he said, what is it? He said, well, the toilet stopped up. Now, Coach, I'll never forget this, said, we don't have problems here. We have opportunities. So basically, we have had a lot of opportunities. I have since I've been here. I've been able to serve on some committees, the Veterans Affairs Committee, which I've been a member since day one. The Education and Labor Committee, which I had the privilege of serving as the chairman of the Subcommittee on Health, Employment, Labor, and Pensions. Served a term on the Agriculture Committee, served on the Joint Select Committee on Solvency of the Multi-Employer Pension Plan, and I've co-chaired the Doctors Caucus for the past several terms. And I mean this sincerely. No one person does any of these things. It does take a team effort. And that team effort, you heard it today. You heard both sides of the aisle contribute to this piece of legislation that we just passed by voice vote. We were able to pass in a bipartisan way the Mission Act, which will fundamentally change. It's a very complex act that will fundamentally change how veterans get their care and improve the quality of care for our veterans. The Forever GI Bill. Mr. Speaker, when I got out of the Army in 1975, I was able to use the GI Bill, and I know it paid me $300 a month for 2 years. It sunsetted at 10 years. This Congress fully paid for that, and these young people now, these men and women who've served this country, can use that benefit the rest of their life, and that benefit can be transferred. It is an incredible help to families now with a high cost of education. We had an SGR, the Sustainable Growth Rate repeal, and Medicare reform, the Medicare Wage Index reform. We passed Desert Shield, Desert Storm War Memorial Act, and with Whip Hoyer, we passed an EpiPen bill so that they can be put in schools around the country. And I can tell you, after that happened, in my own district, about 3 years ago, a student had an anaphylactic reaction, did not know she had a problem, and her life was saved because of that. I think if I did anything in Congress, and I want to thank Mr. Hoyer for his help with that, and we have another asthma bill that's getting hotlined in the Senate to show you can do bipartisan work across the aisle. And that's just a few of the things that we were able to succeed in doing. And these are, again, not done by any one person. They're done as a team. And I want to thank everyone who helped make my time here in Congress successful. And I can tell you It's one of the great privileges of my life to serve in the House of the Representatives in the greatest deliberative body in the world, the United States Congress. So it's an honor I will never forget, Mr. Speaker. I strongly encourage, and I will finish by saying that I want you to support this bill. I encourage my colleagues to do that, and graciously I yield back the balance of my time.